Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another non-Marvel superhero month. Check out my new shirt of Civil War. It's a Funko Pop T-shirt. It's got all the characters in the front. Look, that's awesome. Cap and Iron Man are in the front, and you got Hawkeye and Falcon. It's a lot. It's a really cool shirt. I'm glad I'm finally wearing something different. So, this is a 2015 documentary about a superhero film that was never made, but it counts. So it is the 2015 film, The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened. This was a very interesting documentary. I saw this movie last year on cable and like Showtime's on demand because I wanted to see, the whole production of a movie. It was a Superman movie, not done by Richard Donner because past the third one, he was already out, and it was going to be directed by Tim Burton because by 1997, Batman and Robin had bombed. It didn't do well in the U.S., and he was already done with the Batman films. After producing Batman Forever, he left. So he decided that he wanted to do a Superman movie in between 1997 and 1998, and Nicolas Cage was going to play the Man of Steel. Now that would have been freaking awesome, dude. The fact that we didn't get a Superman movie until 2006 and we got Superman Returns, which I don't hate. I really enjoy that movie. I prefer it over Man of Steel because it's not boring, and it got the character better. It was a better representation for me, in my opinion. Don't bite my head off, please. I don't want to hear in the comment section, "Oh, you're wrong. You're this." This is not about either of those films. This is about the unfinished Superman Lives. It was going to be written by Kevin Smith, who had written a draft about that Superman apparently in this version was not going to fly and was going to fight like a giant spider in the third act, which kind of sounds stupid, but if you think about it, if Tim Burton had directed it, I think he would have done a lot of changes to the script, and it would have been a much better film. Now the film was directed by John Schnepp. He's a good guy, good director. That he was on the Screen Junkies like 2 years ago, and it's a very intriguing behind the scenes of what could have happened. I love the way the suit looks on Nicolas Cage. He has like long dark hair. It's basically the suit that they would use for Man of Steel and for Supergirl, the TV series and everything. It's very like metallic and blue, but it's not dark and depressing. And the symbol was just like this, but it was like more shinier and sparklier, and it was more rubber based. And there was a lot of test runs, and different costume types for Nicolas Cage's body to see which suit would look the best. I think he looks great in the suit. Like, I think Cage would have been better than Cavill in every way. He had at the time, Nick Cage was not a joke. He had the freaking acting chops. He had the fresh face because he was very young in 1997. He had a great director behind him, Tim Burton, at that time. People, really flocked to see his films. And I don't think the movie would have had CGI. I think it would have been more practical. Like, Batman and Robin had too much CGI, and it was just, really distracting. But the first two Tim Burton movies don't have any CG. Like, most of it is a lot of practical. And, this is before Burton would use a lot of CGI in his 2000s films. But this movie, I think, would have been well done. I think this movie would have been a hit. I think it would have been entertaining. Who would you have bought for as Lois at the time? I don't know who could have been Lois in 1997. I really don't know. With Nicolas Cage, I have no idea. Maybe like Robin Tunney or Rene Russo or um Linda Fiorentino. Somebody that I can buy that was a brunette and would knock it out of the park, that had the acting chops, not Megan Fox, because at that time she was like a teenage girl. But anyway, I really like this documentary. It's intriguing. It's interesting. The behind the scenes footage of what they got when they had Nicolas Cage in the suit, and what they were going to do with him. That they were going to do flying sequences like we've never seen before. This movie is a movie that wasn't even finished, and it could have been better than a movie nowadays. Like, most documentaries are for films that already were made, like Trolls 2 and Star Wars and freaking Harry Potter. A lot of these movies get documentaries that they talk in great detail about everything that went around. But this one was talking about a film that wasn't even made, that was gonna be made, and then Warner Brothers, these dipshits, decided no, because Batman and Robin did terrible. We're gonna pull the plug on all DC movies until the 2000s, and then we were stuck with, well, we wouldn't get a Batman movie till 2005 with Batman Begins, and then Superman his fair comeback in 2006 with Superman Returns, and then we would get a dark, grittier versions in the 2010s. But I'm like, this would have been a breath of fresh air. After Superman 4, anything would have been better than that. And I think that, like I said, the suit looked great for what they had to do. Schnepp's directing. He interviewed a lot of people like Kevin Smith and a bunch of other people that were working on the movie and saying what happened. Well, there were financial problems because of Batman and Robin. They're like, no, we're not going to put like $100 million into a movie that could clearly be a flop, because Warner Brothers was very careful with their money at that time, and they didn't they didn't have any major franchises besides Batman and Superman. They didn't have like a franchise that could make them a lot of money at that time, because Harry Potter didn't come out till 2001, and of course, the Nolan's trilogy didn't come out until 2005. So they were in a gutter at that time, and Marvel didn't come big until '98 when they did Blade. So Marvel wasn't in the run, wasn't exactly the massive juggernaut that it is today. And the movie is very, very intriguing. It's interesting. The fact that a movie about Superman, granted the part about him not flying, that would have been weird. I think we would have seen him in the black suit, maybe, like, because it says the death of Superman lives. And I think it would have been a worthy sequel to the fourth one. They could have erased the fourth one from ever happening, and this could have been the fourth movie that we wanted. And I think the tone would have been fine. I bet the special effects would have been better. We wouldn't have gotten freaking shaky cam and bad CG anime fights and a villain that wouldn't be make me laugh my ass off. I would say it, yeah. The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened, is a documentary worthy of your time. And it is a superhero film because it's a superhero film that was going to be made, but they pulled the plug too late. And, the movie was doomed. And I wish it would have gotten made. Burton, I think, would have knocked it out of the park because Batman and Batman Returns, those movies still hold up. And they are practical. There's a lot of practical, and the movies are not 2.5 hours. They're about 2 hours even. I miss when superhero movies were like 2 hours even, or like 2 hours and 5 minutes at least. You don't have to make every superhero movie 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes, 2 hours and 50 minutes, 3 hours. No, sometimes less is more. I think The Dark Knight would have been fine if it was 2 hours. You could have cut out all the filler with the secondary characters that we don't give a shit about, like that Spanish cop Ramirez, whatever her name is, and whatever. No filler. Trim the fat. This documentary, you know how long it is? It's about an hour and 40 minutes. It's not very long, and they get into great detail of what happened on the set of Superman Lives. This would have been a nice comeback because the last Superman movie before this was 4 in 1987, and by 1997, Batman and Superman made a resurgence because of the animated series that they had together, the crossover with The World's Finest, which is a great freaking animated movie. This could have been leading to the Justice League a lot sooner than this year. Just saying. But if you haven't seen this documentary, watch it online, get it on DVD, watch it. It is worth your time. Because every second of this movie just it nails it. It's like this could have been a movie of the ages, especially in the 90s. Would have been bigger than Titanic? No, but it could have been a fun summer blockbuster. And Warner Brothers are idiots for letting this pass by. This was a golden opportunity to bring Superman back a lot sooner than 19 years later. And it's not that I'm ranting on the movie. I wish the film was made. I wish the film was funded, produced, and directed, and they would have finished the film, and it would have been released in theaters in '97 or '98. That would have been great. But it's out of our hands. At least it led to a great documentary that I really enjoyed, and it's a superhero that deserves better, especially not getting fucked in the ass by these stupid studios. But I like the documentary. I think it's well done. John Schnepp did a great job directing it and getting interviews with a lot of people that were working on this project that was doomed from the start. Because I pretty much blame Batman and Robin. Because if that movie was better received and it wasn't a shitty shit show and it was a good movie, I think they would have greenlit Superman Lives and it would have continued. A bad word of mouth can destroy a franchise. That's why Spider-Man got rebooted twice because of bad word of mouth. That's why Batman got rebooted. That's why Superman got rebooted. That's also why Fantastic Four will probably get rebooted again. Hopefully they do it right this time. Studios are just stupid. Fox, Sony, freaking Warner Brothers, even 20 even Disney sometimes they put their foot in their mouth, wasting so much money on movies that are shitty that get released in theaters and this movie didn't even see the light of day. No pun intended. Why? Lone Ranger and John Carter and freaking Beauty and the Beast makes 1 billion and this movie didn't even make money because it wasn't released and it wasn't finished. Even if it was in a film, this would have been a nice short film. But no, they're like, well, we're gonna pull the plug on it. All that hard work went for nothing. Cage would have been a great Superman. Burton would have been a great director. Lois, you could have found another actress besides freaking Amy Adams. Good actress, not Lois to me. This could have been something, and it was. And well, while we didn't get the movie, the story behind it is very interesting. So watch this. Give me your thoughts on it, and also don't judge me. I'm just trying to give an opinion on an awesome documentary that deserved so for a movie that should have been in movie theaters in '97 or '98. This would have been a breath of fresh air. It's like nowadays Hollywood just wants to redo everything. They don't want to give a movie a chance, especially an ambitious movie. That's what Superman Lives would have been, an ambitious take on the Man of Steel. And it wouldn't have copied the Richard Donner films. I think it would have done its own thing, unlike the Superman we get now. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you see this documentary. It's worth your time. It's a fun, you know, interesting perspective on a movie that could have been one of the biggest movies of the late '90s. It would have brought life back into the superhero genre because by '97 it was in terrible shape. You had Batman and Robin and Steel and freaking there was no Superman movie in sight. Marvel didn't come into their own until '98. When '98 came, we had Blade, and Blade was getting it on the right track again and led to X-Men, Spider-Man, etc. But the Man of Steel, Superman Lives would have been a great movie. I think it would have been. It wouldn't have been perfect, but it would have beat the crap out of Man of Steel easily, and it would have been better than rehashing stuff like Star Wars and Star Trek and freaking Ghostbusters, redoing the same thing over and over. Sometimes a different idea can work, and this documentary proves it. So take that with a grain of salt. See you guys in the next video. Keep watching my videos, subscribing, liking, commenting, all that good stuff. You guys, you give me a reason to do these videos. I don't do these videos for the haters that have gone on my channel and accused me of being a troll. I am no troll. What you see is what you get. Later.